So go through the facts again. It's start
Yeah.
us off.
F is for feeling, A is for action, C is for connection, T is for thought, and S is for surroundings. As the five, I call them the 5 pillars of brain health. And when you look at all of those, you're looking at all of those pillars of brain health. You can really make sure that you can learn how to show up as the best of you, but you have to do the deep work on each of them. You can't ignore any of them.
You can't ignore any, and there is that, and I keep going back to what you resist persists. I mean, if you're listening to this and I tell you right now not to think about a pink elephant, I don't want you to think about a pink elephant. Please, if you're listening, don't think about a pink elephant. You're all sitting there thinking about a pink elephant, and that's what happens. What we try to tell ourselves not to do, we end up doing. And this is really, I think, one of the greatest things about the evolution of emotional development and personal development is that we've got these new, that we've got this idea of neuroplasticity, which is being used by so many, that this path that you've been walking on is not the only path on the hiking trail, and that you can start to pave a new path. I mean, the path you want to walk on may be covered with brush and there may be some thorns because you've never walked on it. But once you start clearing it, my God, I mean, it takes you to the waterfall. But it is, as you said, it's the deep clearing. It's like figuring out where new path is and then getting the courage to start walking down it, which is what I think you're giving everybody.
And often, I'm a mountain leader from a military perspective, so often you don't think you're capable of walking that far. As a walker, if you've got no experience of going up that hill, or searching for a waterfall because nobody's taught you how to read the map, or nobody's taught you what kit to wear, you've not got the right boots, you need to ask for help. You need to get a guide to help you get there, because you're not going to get there by yourself as easily as you would do if somebody showed you the way, because they've been there before. So it's really important, if we're going on a journey of discovery and a journey of transformation, that we recognize the need to get support, to ask for help, because it's okay to ask for help. What isn't okay is to slog it, through and say, oh, there's no waterfall there because I can't get through the brush. Well, that's not true, is it? Because if you've got the right guide, you could see the most beautiful scenery in the whole wide world, and you might have been only a stone's throw away from it, but you just didn't have the right tools to cut effectively that brush to get there, and you ran out of steam. So it's really important you have that right support mechanism. You surround yourself with the right people to help you on that journey of discovery, and life is a journey of discovery. So.
And we're not meant to go alone, are we? I mean, I think you bring up a point which I think I will say in all of our episodes, and this podcast is now listened to internationally. We've had incredible guests on, like yourself, very, very strong, very courageous thought leaders, and not one person has ever said, by the way, I really suggest you do this on your own. You struggle on your own. You find the solution on your own. Everybody to a woman or man that has talked about what they've done to overcome, they've talked about the importance of asking for help. And so thank you for being another voice in the importance of human connection, and how we really are. And I think you said this earlier in that spirituality quadrant, that we're designed to be together. We're designed to connect to one another, to help our fellow woman or man up, when it's too hard. And so it's incredible that you brought that up. And I thank you for that, because I think, I think we've just been conditioned that, that kind of pull yourself up by the bootstraps, or, fight through it. And it's, and I've always said, can you get through it alone? I don't know, maybe, will it take a long time? Probably. Is it much quicker, easier together? Absolutely. I mean, it's for sure. We can sure go further together.
And I think it happens, doesn't it? At some point in our development, we go from a childlike state where we need help, and then somebody says to us, I'm sorry, some switch happens and says, no, I don't need help anymore. But, be a child. Go back to being a child, because we're a child in that new part of our life. Go back to being a child and going, okay, I need to ask for help, because that's what my daughter does. Mummy, I need some help, please. Can you help me with this? I'm struggling. Of course, we'll go and help help her. And then she learns by doing and making mistakes, and but she knows she can't get there by herself. So
the courage is incredible. The vulnerability is incredible. And I think I'll ask you the question that I like to ask most people that have been through what you've been through, which is, when you got to that point, so that point of the alcohol dependence at night, the depression of not being able to get up in the morning, and you decided to take a different approach. What is the kind of simple, I like to make the start easy for people. What are the really simple things people can do, when they're at that? Because there's a lot of people that are at that point where that dark cloud is looming. What are the small, simple steps? What are the suggestions? What's your toolbox look like to help people kind of make those small incremental steps to start walking slowly out of that spot as you did?
So I think for me, just reflecting on my journey, the first thing I did was ask for help. So that was the first thing. And recognizing I wasn't going to be able to do this alone. Suicide is in my family. My mum, dad committed suicide, so it was something that was very much at the forefront of my mind to make sure I didn't end up in that place. So ask for help first and foremost, and find somebody that can help you, and be okay with that, because when you're rock bottom, the only way is up. The second one is to celebrate your small wins. Getting out of bed in the morning is a win. Sitting up in bed is a win. Celebrate those little steps. Getting in the shower. Yeah, I got in the shower today. I'm not hanging around in my PJs feeling sorry for myself. Celebrate the little things, and those little things will become long journey of discovery. If you struggle to acknowledge how far you've got to go, acknowledge how far you've come, and just take one step forward each day and keep going. And that's what I do from a mountaineering, a ski touring perspective. When you do ski touring, it's really hard, and it may feel like you're never going to get to the end of the tour because you've got these huge mountains to overcome, and it feels too much. Break it down into really tiny steps. Just get that foot one step in front of the other, and just keep going. And it doesn't matter how slow you go, because as long as you keep going, you'll get there. And just do those little tiny steps. Wow,
that is, if you take anything out of all of your time listening to this podcast, those are 3 remarkable suggestions. And to back up what Dr. Ruth Allan is saying, there was actually a study done. I think Dr. Martin Seligman was part of it at the University of Penn, where they looked at a group of people that were severely depressed. And over 30 days, they simply had that group of people write down 3 good things. I think the study was actually called
the gratitude study.
Yeah, they wrote down 3 good things that happened every day in their lives. So at the end of every day, it was, I took a shower, I had a conversation with my daughter, I went for a small walk. They started to look at the good things. And after 30 days, I think there was a preponderance of over 90% of those people reported going from severely depressed to moderately or mildly depressed just by focusing on the good things. So yeah, I find that to be sage. And your compassion, empathy, after I did your podcast and we went really deep into my own history, I just, I want to publicly thank you for reaching out to me after. You just, yeah, you're just so caring, and it comes across. And so to now sit down and hear your story and have you come on to help our listeners is amazing.